The 1960s, a time of change, they said, of hope. The world was moving forward, embracing new ideas and breaking old barriers, not in our town. Our town was shrouded in the damp fog of fear. It was as if time stood still and the shadows grew longer with each passing day. It crept in with the evening shadows, clinging to the narrow alleyways and whispering through the oak trees lining our quiet streets. The fog seemed to carry secrets, murmurs of things unseen. We were kids then, but we knew something was wrong. The air was thick with an unspoken dread, and our games were often interrupted by uneasy glances over our shoulders. The adults whispered about it, hushed tones exchanged over picket fences, worried glances cast at playing children. They spoke in low voices, as if afraid the very fog might hear them. They thought we didn't understand, but we felt it too. The tension was palpable, a silent current that ran through our small community. The fear. It was a living thing, cold and damp like the night air. It seeped into our bones, making us shiver even when the nights were warm. It was a presence, always lurking, always watching. He came from the shadows, they said, a figure so elusive he was more myth than man. His presence was felt rather than seen, a chill that ran down your spine on a moonless night. A phantom, a whisper, a nightmare you couldn't wake up from. He was the embodiment of fear, lurking in the corners of your mind, waiting to pounce when you least expected it. They called him the Night Stalker, a chilling moniker whispered in fear-stricken homes. His legend grew with each passing day, fueled by the terror he left in his wake. No one knew his real name, his face, his motive. He was a ghost, a shadow, a dark whisper in the night. His identity was as murky as the alleys he haunted. He was an enigma, cloaked in darkness and terror. His very existence was a puzzle, each piece more confounding than the last. His victims were always young women, their lives brutally extinguished just as they were beginning to bloom. Each life he took was a flower plucked too soon, a story left unfinished. Each murder more gruesome, more theatrical than the last. He seemed to revel in the horror he created, each act a macabre performance for an audience of terrified onlookers. The police were baffled, the town paralyzed. Every clue led to a dead end, every lead turned cold. The frustration was palpable, the fear all-consuming. We were living a real-life horror movie, trapped in a script we couldn't rewrite. The Boogeyman of Backstreets had us all in his grip, and there seemed to be no escape. They found her on a Tuesday, sweet Mary Beth, with her gentle smile and kind eyes. She lay in a forgotten corner of the park, her once vibrant red dress stained crimson, a cruel parody of the ribbon her mama always used to tie in her hair. I can still see her face in my nightmares, eyes wide with a terror that transcended death, her lips forever frozen in a silent scream. That's when the fear truly took root, burrowing deep within our souls, a chilling premonition that no one was safe. The killings continued, each one a hammer blow to our collective psyche. The fear became a suffocating blanket, smothering any semblance of normalcy. The laughter of children was replaced by the slamming of doors, the carefree strolls replaced by hurried footsteps. We were haunted, not by ghosts of the past, but by the very real monster walking among us. He was a predator, stalking our streets, feeding on our terror. And the most terrifying part, he was never caught. Years passed. The decades rolled by, painting over the stark terror of the 60s with the psychedelic hues of the 70s, the neon lights of the 80s. Life went on, as it always does. But the fear? It never truly left. It lingered in the shadows, a constant reminder of our town's dark history. It became ingrained in our DNA, passed down through generations like a sinister inheritance. The unsolved murders became a chilling campfire story, a cautionary tale whispered to wide-eyed children. Today, in the sterile light of the new millennium, the story of the Night Stalker is nothing more than a cold case file, gathering dust in some forgotten police archive. The once vibrant and bustling city has moved on, its streets now filled with the hum of modern life, oblivious to the dark past that still lingers in the shadows. The case file, with its yellowed pages and faded ink, is a silent testament to the terror that once gripped the city, a relic of a time when fear was a constant companion. But for those of us who lived through those years, the horror remains. The memories of those dark nights are etched into our minds as vivid as the day they happened. We remember the fear that crept into our homes, the unease that settled over the city like a thick fog. The Night Stalker was not just a man. He was a symbol of the unknown, a manifestation of our deepest fears. He may be gone, but the fear he ignited still flickers within us, a chilling reminder that some monsters are never caught, some horrors never truly fade. The shadow he cast over the city has never fully lifted, and in the darkest corners of our minds, his presence still lingers. We tell ourselves that he is gone, that the danger has passed, but deep down, we know that the fear he instilled in us will never completely disappear. And in the quiet of the night, when the shadows grow long and the wind whispers through the trees, we can almost hear his footsteps, a chilling echo of an era defined by fear. The rustling leaves and the creaking branches seem to carry his presence, a ghostly reminder of the terror that once walked among us. It is in these moments, when the world is still and the night is at its darkest, that we are reminded of the fragility of our safety and the haunting reality that some nightmares never truly end.